Hi everyone, it's Phil from Ashland Leather, and it's a Sunday today. My Bears football team is not playing today, so I thought I'd take this opportunity, take a break from football, and show you some of a little bit of a preview of some irregulars that we'll be selling at a nice discount. And I've got everything today from these Johnny the Foxes, I've got some Fat Herbies, Tony the Ants, and Bugs Morans to show you. And starting off first here, this is a really neat Johnny the Fox in raw shell Cordovan. I've actually polished this one up. So it's a little different than most raw. This one has more of a luster, just because I've applied a application of sapphire on it and given it a nice little polish. This one is an irregular because of this open cut on the inside right here. It's pretty much just a cosmetic, it's fully a cosmetic issue. This will not affect the durability of the wallet, but I just didn't have the heart to sell this for full price. There's also a little bit of a scuff and scratch on the third card pocket right here. The next irregular I have here is a natural shell Cordovan Johnny the Fox, and this one has that same reverse interior. Let's take a look at why this one is irregular. Gosh, I found it. This one is irregular because the crease mark on this second slot was just dug in a little too much. I don't know if you can see that well on video here, but it's sort of dug in as opposed to being a nice light crease mark. We sort of dug it out a little too much, but this is a really beautiful wallet. And the last Johnny the Fox here is a really beautiful garnet shell Cordovan, and this one has a full color 8 shell on the inside, which is just really beautiful. It's hard for us to get the naturally thin pieces of shell for the interiors of these wallets while still keeping it a reasonable thickness. This one is an irregular, sadly, for just a small little scratch on this card pocket right there. You can see it at certain angles. This is one of those types of irregulars that, again, I just don't have the heart to sell for full price. If I got this, I'd be kind of bummed out. And having said that, is this type of scratch you will start to see develop inside of your wallet just with normal use. So this is a pretty nice one to get a good deal on. Just a really beautiful wallet too. And onto the Fat Herbies. I've got a color 8 marbled shell Cordovan Fat Herbie. Check out how beautiful that is, and it's really unfortunate for me that this is irregular. But there are some small little scratches on the inside of this wallet that might be near impossible to show. You can see them up here on this left side, and I believe they're just hard to see everywhere. But there's just small little scratches in the shell that, again, I don't have the heart to sell for full price, and it's a shame because it's just such a beautiful wallet otherwise. There is something also on the outside here, and it's, again, kind of hard to see, but right here it looks like we probably shouldn't have cut this piece. There is some dirt that was sort of plated into the leather. I don't know if you can see, there's like 3 or 4 little spots right here that will probably pop off, but you might see some finish, different color finish underneath there. So again, that's not okay to sell. And there's one little denty scratch thing down here that's really hard to see. Let's see if I can get the right angle. It's right around here. And if you can see that, there's a really light dent in the shell right in the bottom left here. Here's another really beautiful Fat Herbie, and this one's in whiskey shell Cordovan. Let's see if I can find what's wrong with this one rather quickly. Oh, this one has some dye discoloration on the top left here, and there's a little dye mark on the right, right underneath the stitching line on this right side. But otherwise, this is just an awesome whiskey shell Cordovan Fat Herbie. Next, I have an all-reverse black shell Cordovan Fat Herbie, and they're called black even though they appear green because we actually use black shell, and the reverse side, or the unintended side of the black shells, are this green shade. This one's a really nice wallet as well, and unfortunately there's some openness on the spine of this one. It's a little bit rough, a little bit more open on the spine. But this one is hand glazed, so we tried to fill that in, but it's just not as nice as we would like. So we're gonna have to sell it as an irregular. Here's another all reverse Fat Herbie, and this one's color 8 all reverse. And again, you can see the wallet on the back, or on the inside here. This is actually color 8 shell, but the unintended side is more of this reddish tan, sort of orangey tan sometimes. This one is also hand glazed, so it has a nice little sheen to it, a nice luster. And when you wear this along with all the shells, they're just going to polish up themselves really nicely. You might be able to see rather easily on this one why this is an irregular. There are some healed scars right in the center on the bottom here and on the top there that are not good at all. Probably shouldn't have cut those at all. It's sometimes hard to see when you're cutting from the angle you're cutting for this side when you're making the reverse. So sometimes it's hard to see the undersides until they're sort of fully put together. So now here is a black Chrome Excel Fat Herbie, and this one is really nice. It's such a minor issue on this one. You can see it's really clean. There's one little spot here on the outside that might be, again, that like sort of plated dirt in there. Can't really tell what it is, but it's not coming out, so I can't sell that one for full price. This will also be a really nice wallet at a discount. Now we're on to Tony the Ants and my new favorite shell Cordovan color, the Amaretto shell. So this is Amaretto inside and out. This one has a very small issue that you might be able to see rather easily. There's a little bit of a weird dull spot right here on the inside right of the wallet. I don't know what that is. I can't seem to get it bright. But that's another one, when you start to wear this wallet and it rubs against itself in your pocket, that's one that will be irrelevant after about a week of use. So this might be another really nice deal on a beautiful Amaretto shell Cordovan Tony the Ant. Now here's a neat wallet. This is a whiskey shell Cordovan Tony the Ant, and it is a double reverse variation, meaning that you're seeing shell and reverse shell on the inside and on the outside. So let's see if I could find what is wrong with this one. There's just some little bits of scratches on the outside here. They feel smooth, but they're like little pits in the leather that might even be hard to get on this video. It's so minor, but again, it's one of those things that I just don't feel comfortable selling for full price. So this might be another nice one to get your hands on at a little discount. Now we have another nice whiskey shell Cordovan Tony the Ant. This one is whiskey shell inside and out, and you can see that the color is a little bit different on the middle slot and this back piece. We probably could have or we should have matched these up a little nicer when we were sewing them together. So I don't really love that. And then there are some very small little bitty pits on the outside here that you have to really look for. And on the inside I have one little scratch right there. This is another one that very minor cosmetic issues that won't affect the durability. So if you're looking for a cool little whiskey shell Tony, this is another good one. So here's the last Tony the Ant I have in this little irregular batch, and this one is in color 8 shell Cordovan. It's a really nice looking wallet. So color 8 on the inside and color 8 on the outside. This one again has just a really small little scratch right here on the side. That's pretty tough to see. You have to kind of really look for that one. This is another really nice wallet that I just can't sell for full price and sleep well at night. Up next is a Bugs Moran, and this one's in color 8 shell Cordovan. I should mention too that some of the wallets in here are not fully finished yet, so you'll notice that the edges are still raw in this. We will bevel and polish up the edges and wax them before we ship any of these. This one is pretty close to great, except there's one weird issue. So either somebody custom ordered it this way or we made a mistake, but this right card slot here is actually black shell. It should be color 8, so it might be difficult to see even in this video, but that is the wrong color shell. It's black, it should be color 8. Everything else on here is color 8, so we had to make it irregular for that reason. Now here is an intense blue shell Cordovan Bugs Moran. This one is probably closer to navy on the outside, and the inside is more of that vibrant, intense blue that I really like. The problem on this one is the shell on the exterior here is very much rough and open right here, and that is not okay for a regular piece of shell. So this one's going to have to get a pretty big discount. I don't think that will ever go away, but it's just this one little spot right here. But the rest of the wallet seems really nice. I might have to give it a pretty big deal on this one just because that's not the nicest piece of shell in the back. So here's a really neat Bugs Moran. This one's a natural shell Cordovan. I really love looking at these, and the Bugs Moran for me has this really cool form factor. It's just really great in the hand. It's a perfect size. This one, I think I actually may have messed this one up. I was trying to fix something on the top here, and I beveled a little too much down the spine. So it's probably, again, a little hard to see on this video, but there's a sort of gouge right out the top from me hitting an edge on the beveling tool. So that one's not great. And again, we will finish up the edges on these. but I just can't sell this one for full price. Now I have another natural shell Cordovan Bugs Moran. This one has a really neat looking reverse interior that's cleaner than most natural reverses I see. Let me see if I can find what's wrong with this. Oh yeah, I'm having a hard time finding what's wrong with this one because it's a minor thing in the stitching. So if you look on the bottom left, the stitching is really tight together here, and everywhere else is sort of our normal stitch length. So it's irregular for that reason. It won't affect the durability at all, but it's again one of those things that's just not up to our sort of normal standards, and I can't sell that one for full price. So if you look at the difference between the stitch spacing on the top and bottom, you can see these are much closer together. The top is sort of more of our normal stitch distance. And last and finally up is a whiskey shell Cordovan Bugs Moran, and it's whiskey on the inside, whiskey on the outside. This is a great, this one is more dense than the others. It's like heavy in your hand, which is like really satisfying. This one has some little scuffs on the inside. There's a little scratch right here that's probably hard to see, and there's a little scratch right up on the top. It's also probably pretty hard to see, but this is a great wallet that I just, again, can't sell for full price, and it's a real shame because otherwise it's perfect. These are one of those things, again, that when you start to wear it, you're going to start to accumulate little scuffs and scratches like that anyways with just normal use. So I think this might be a really good deal if you're looking to try out a Bugs Moran, or if you want to check out what whiskey shell Cordovan's all about. It's a beautiful shade. And for anybody that is interested in any of these, please let me know, because I'm not putting them up at least for another couple days. So this video will be out at least a day before the product pages are made. So if you want dibs on any of these, just feel free to leave a comment or send me an email. It's phil@ashlandleather.com, and I'll just reserve one of these for you, so you don't have to wait. But otherwise, they'll be coming up this week, and you can look forward to seeing these with some better photos, and probably this video up with it. But until next time, take it easy.